A very good morning to all of you, my dear students. I am Rakesh Kumar, your social science teacher. Today, I am going to explain chapter first of geography, that is resources, and I am going to explain this chapter by the help of your prescribed book. So, let us start. Dear students, the things, or you can say nature has gifted the earth with a large variety of soil, rock, vegetation, minerals, animal, etc. And we know that these gifts of nature are used by us to meet our day-to-day requirements. So the things which are capable to fulfill our day-to-day requirements are our wants or our needs are termed as resources. If we try to define the resource in a very systematic manner, so we can say that here it is given: the natural substance that have utility and functionally, that is capacity to fulfill human needs, are termed a resource. Resource are those materials which are made available and usable by the technology present with the objective of satisfying human wants. For example, a lot of things: book, pen, paper, even mobile phones, and many more things which are made by us, are gifted to us by the nature, are known as resource. When we try to classify the resources, so broadly we can classify the resources into into two categories: natural and cultural or man-made resource. Means broadly we can define classify the resources into two groups, that is natural resource and man-made resource. Now natural resources can also be classified into two broad categories. These are renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Here we should know that renewable resources are those resources which can be renewed by the physical, biological or chemical processes. So generally renewable resources are biotic resources. Biotic resources means the resources which are obtained from the living beings are known as, are termed as biotic resources. Biotic resources, you can say, are of two types: the plant species, means the natural vegetation, and the animal species, wildlife, and human, means we are also resource. And human being are very important resource, because only the human being have capability to convert the things into the valuable products. Only human beings have mind, only human beings have ability to think, only human beings have ability to socialize. That is why human beings is considered as most important resource, because only we are capable to convert the things into the resources. For example, you can say that the coal was present from the infinite years on our planet, but when we able to know that after burning that coal we can obtain the energy, we came to know that is the resource. Otherwise it was only a natural thing. So it is the importance of human being. Now Non-renewable resources. These are also of two types. Generally, they are abiotic in nature. These are two types. Recyclable. Recyclable means the resources which are obtained from the mines generally are you can say recyclable means the resources which can be recycled after their first use are known as recyclable resource. And exhaustible resource means those resources, you know well, generally resources are obtained from the mine, and once we obtain them from that particular mine, they take millions of years to restore. That is why they are known as exhaustible resource. Means once we exhaust them from that particular place, in our life it is impossible to restore them. Now the another broad classification, that is the man-made resources. Man-made resources, you can say the infrastructure and the institution, buildings, etc. And second, manufacture goods like the pen, paper, etc. are came in this category. Now we are going to classify the resource. So we have earlier studied that broadly resources can be classified into two broad categories, natural resource and man-made resource. So now we are going to classify the natural resources, and we should know that there are several bases of classification of resources. So on the basis of their origin, resources are of two types: biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic resources are those resources which are obtained from living beings. Living beings means vegetation and animals. So these are biotic resources. So in the biotic resources, all animal beings and all plant species are coming. And I have informed you earlier, we are also means human being or man himself also is a biotic resource, and to respect their importance of human being, we have categorized the human beings in a different category, that is known as human resource. Why? Because they are very important resource and we have to study these things in the broad way. Now abiotic resources. Abiotic resources are those resources which are obtained from non-living organism such as soil, water, air, mountain, and a lot of things. They are abiotic because they don't have life and they are used by us in several purposes. Now one more basis of resource is there. On other basis, on the basis of their exhaustibility, resources are of two types. The first one is renewable resource and second is non-renewable resource. As the name suggests, renewable resources are those resources which can be renewed after their use. They can be renewed by the biological processes, by the chemical processes, or by the physical processes. For example, water is reduced through water cycle, renewed through water cycle. This is a chemical process and it is going on in our environment. Now animal and plant species are renewed by the biological process, that is reproduction, which is responsible for the renewable resources like animal and plant species. And the physical process, the things means you can say once we use iron and afterward we can reuse the iron by the factories, recycle them. This is you can say the physical processes. And one more word is here coming, flow resources are the best example of inexhaustible resource, means the resources which cannot be exhausted by their single use are known as flow resource. Example we have studied. Now all the biotic resources are renewable in nature. I have informed you through the process of reproduction the resources can be renewed. Now non-renewable are exhaustible resources. The resources which cannot be renewed after their first use are known as non-renewable resources. They can be destroyed or exhausted by us. All fossil fuels and minerals are coming in this category. Now on the third base, we can classify resources on the basis of stage of development. They are of two types, potential resource and actual resource. Now we are given potential resource. Potential resource means the resource. So potential resource means the resources which are available to us by the present technology is not suitable to develop the resources in a proper manner. For example, we can explain from above example that is given in our book. The water which is used in the ocean is available to us, but we should desalination, we should perform desalination process to use the water in a proper manner. But one problem is there, the desalination process is not a very cheap process, it is very costly process. When we try to do this process, it become very costly to us. That is why water in the ocean for the drinking purpose is potential resource, because now we don't have the proper technology to use the resource in a proper manner. Now second one is actual resource. Actual resource means the resources which are serving us in a better manner. We have actual data of their quality and quantity, and due to help of present technology they can be used by us in a proper manner, are termed as actual resource. And many resources which are used by us in recent time are categorized in the actual resource. Now on the basis of ownership, we can classify the resources into four categories according to our present book. First, individual resource. Individual resource means the resource which is owned and managed by an individual person or an individual house is known as individual resource. The second one is community resource. The resource which is used by the community or the village is known as community resource. For example, the village pond of our village, the market of our village, playground of our village, and park of our communities. Now national resource. National resource means the resources which are the property of a particular nation are known as national resource. For example, forest, wildlife, minerals, water and land resources within political boundary of a country, and each and everything which are coming in a particular country's boundary, political boundary, are termed as national resource. Now, world resource, it is also known as the international resource. International resource. So, the sum total of the resources of all countries is known as world resource or international resource. Now, on the basis of distribution, resources can be classified into two categories. First is ubiquitous resource and second is localized resource. Ubiquitous resource means the resources which are present everywhere are known as ubiquitous resource. For example, sunlight and wind, which are found everywhere. Now, localized resource means the resources which are found on a particular place are known as localized resource. For example, gold, silver, coal and all minerals. Now, utilization of resources we are going to study. So, in the topic we have to study how or which factors are determinant of the utilization of resources. So, dear student, we have 4 factors which can be determine the utilization of resource. The first one is the place from where resources are occurred or found, that is its accessibility. Second, the form which it occurred, that is its quality, and the awareness of the people about its presence and use. And 4, that is very important, the cost involved in acquiring the resources. It is very important because you know well, the iron is present everywhere in the earth's crust, but the places which are suitable to obtain iron are those where iron is present in the form of iron ore and found in huge amount. So, all these factors are very important for the utility of resources. This topic is coming as question, so prepare this also. Now, we are going to study about the man-made resources. We have study about the natural resources. The resources which are gifted to us by the nature are known as natural resources, and we had classified them on several bases. Now, we are going to study about the man-made resources. So, this is very simple topic, you can say. The resources which are made by human being for their usage is termed as man-made resources. The things which are looking around us like desk, bench, house, pen, pencil, book, copy, etc. are coming in the man-made resources. Now, we should study the most important part of this chapter, that is human resource. I have informed you earlier, human being is also an very important resource because we are capable to transform the things or transform the natural objects into useful things. That is why human beings is very important resource, and we should also know that we are coming in our school or we are studying for become a better resource for ourselves, for our parent, for our country and for our society. So, we are coming school and we are studying because of we are a resource, and you know well, there are two major input to create a human being into good resource, that is health and education. health and education are two input which can create a human being of better resource. Now, principal resources of the world. These things we will study in the next chapters also. We should study in brief. So, agricultural resources include cereal and other food crops are termed in this. Now, pastoral resources. Pastoral resources means the animal beings which are rearing by us to obtain milk, meat, fur, hide, skin or many animal products are come into this category. And next and very important, mineral and energy resource. You know well, all the machines which are operating by us or human beings are run from taking energy from the mineral resources. These are two types, coal and petroleum. Coal, you know well, the coal, and petroleum means the diesel, petrol, kerosene and liquid petroleum gases. Now, we have approximately completed the chapter. Lost topic is remain conservation of resources. So, we have studied that resources are very important for us for the survival of human beings on our planet, and if the resources will exhausted totally from our planet, it is impossible to live here. That is why we should conserve the resources. And one more term it coming, that is sustainable development. The using of resources in such a manner so that they will be available to us for our future generation is known as sustainable development. Here given some principles of sustainable development. First, respect and care of all forms of life. Second, improving the quality of human life. And third, conserving the earth's vitality and diversity, minimizing the depletion of natural resources, changing personal attitude and practices towards the environment. It means if we have enough money, we should not exhaust the resources, because if we exhaust the resources in a very huge manner, they will be unavailable to us or for our coming generation. Now, enabling communities to care for their own environment. Now, it is this was the chapter. One more thing is very important here. This is the Mahatma Gandhi's thought about the conservation of resources. Gandhiji had once remarked, "There is enough for everyone's need, but not for anybody's greed." It means the resources which are present to us are capable to fulfill the needs of each and every people which are living on our planet. But if some greedy people try to use the resources, they will not be satisfied to our needs. So that is why for need it is available to us, and for greed it is not available to us. Now, I have solved the exercise for you also. So, here are the solution of exercise. Match the following is your homework, and now here fill in the blanks I have done for you, and that's all of this chapter. Dear students, please study the chapter along with your book. If you feel any problem, consult to us, and try to do the exercises whatever given in your book. Thank you. Have a nice day.